Good evening, welcome to South Asia Newsline. I'm Vishakha Ratan. Here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Thursday, the 31st of May. Indian Prime Minister meets Malaysian counterpart in Kuala Lumpur to enhance ties. Hundreds of registration centres still not open due to insecurity in Afghanistan. And tourists throng India's Jammu and Kashmir to seek solace from summer heat. And now for all the details, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Thursday met his Malaysian counterpart in Kuala Lumpur to further enhance strategic partnership between the two countries. He later travelled to Singapore, where he is scheduled to deliver a keynote address at the Shangri-La Dialogue, an annual security meeting on Friday. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Thursday met his newly elected Malaysian counterpart Mahathir Mohamad in Kuala Lumpur to further boost bilateral ties between the two countries. Prime Minister Modi, who arrived on Thursday on the second leg of his three-nation tour, met 92-year-old Mahathir in his office at Perdana-Putra complex in the city. The two leaders had a productive exchange of views on strengthening the strategic economic and cultural relations between India and Malaysia. The Indian Prime Minister also called on Deputy Prime Minister of Malaysia, Dr. Wan Azizah, during his brief stopover in Kuala Lumpur. Later in the day, Prime Minister Modi travelled from Kuala Lumpur to Singapore, where he is scheduled to deliver a keynote address at the Shangri-La Dialogue, an annual security meeting on Friday. India and Singapore share close ties which have a history rooted in strong commercial, cultural and people-to-people links, with India being one of the first countries to recognise Singapore in 1965. In news from Pakistan, a human rights activist and a popular Sikh community leader in Pakistan, Charanjit Singh, was shot dead by unidentified gunmen inside his shop on the outskirts of Pakistan's Peshawar city earlier this week. Activists blame religious minorities in Pakistan continue to face violent attacks, and the government has totally failed to tackle the issue of their persecution.
A human rights activist and Sikh community leader, Charanjit Singh, was shot dead by bike-borne assailant in Peshawar in broad daylight earlier this week. Singh, who had shifted to Peshawar with his family nearly 2 decades ago, was a highly respectable figure in the region. He was known for promoting religious harmony and discouraging violence. Although the exact motive behind the incident is still unknown, community and local political leaders suspect the hand of Pakistan's Inter-Service Intelligence or ISI hand in the attack. In the run-up to the upcoming general election, which is scheduled for July 25th, the political atmosphere of the country is getting increasingly turbulent. While the Pakistani army and the ISI have been covertly supporting the extremism, a few players are contesting to bring a more liberal government in Islamabad. About 60,000 Sikh live in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, including 15,000 in Peshawar alone, who have time and again raised the issue of discrimination. Various religious representatives in the past have accused Pakistan government of turning a blind eye to the discrimination and atrocities being meted out to the minorities in the country.
In news from Afghanistan, just a few months ahead of the parliamentary and district council elections, the Independent Election Commission of Afghanistan on Wednesday said hundreds of centres have still not opened due to insecurity. It's been almost 1.5 months that the voter registration process started in the country. Almost 1.5 months after voter registration started in Afghanistan, the Independent Election Commission or IEC on Wednesday said hundreds of voter registration centres are still not open due to insecurity and lack of materials. According to the Commission, out of all its centres, 461 are in areas under the terror group Taliban's control. The poll body said 473 centres are closed due to security threats right now in the country, while 298 others have not received materials so far. Meanwhile, the IEC head on Wednesday said during an event called on the Taliban to allow people to register and vote.
دامو د مخالفینو څخه هم خواهش ده خلکو ته فرصت ورکړي چې د ټاکنو مرکزونو ته ولاړ شي د ثبت نام مرکزونو ته ولاړ شي خپل رای ثبت کړي او د دوی معنی ونه ګرځي.
به همتان اطمینان میتیم که به خاطر برگزاری درست انتخابات، شفافیت در کار انتخابات، تامین جان هموطنان ما شما و با حفظ اصل بی‌طرفی تمام تلاش‌های خود را به خرج می‌دهیم تا این انتخابات در بهترین شرایط برگزار گردد.
According to the Commission, more than 4.2 million people have registered to vote countrywide so far. But election observers have said the turnout of people at voter registration centres is still weak and that local lawbreakers and officials have been seen to put stickers on fake ID cards in several provinces. Afghanistan will witness the parliamentary and district council polls in October this year. More on news from Afghanistan. A company with around 20 designers and tailors in Afghanistan is bringing a twist to traditional clothing by designing modern outfits using Afghan fabrics and styles. The company started about 18 months ago and now even receives orders from outside the country.
A group of 20 designers and tailors in Afghanistan are fastly making a name for themselves by using traditional Afghan fabrics and styles to make dresses with a modern twist. The company of the group was established about 18 months ago and its clients are mostly government officials and wealthy individuals.
مدرن بسازیم به خاطر که فعلا در جامعه که زندگی میکنیم بیشتر مردم درسته که کلاسیک دوست دارن ولی قشر از جامعه هم هست که اونا واقعا مدرن زندگی میکنن و میخوان یک لباس مدرن بپوشن لباسی که روز باشه و واقعا شخصیتشون معرفی کنه.
گندای افغانی داریم یک گند افغانی که به اسم قرمه‌ایز یا ترما او را سفارش داریم در خارج بر ما زنگ میزنن ما سفارش های اینا را میگیریم درست میکنیم برشان روان.
All the fabric used by the group for the dresses is made in Afghanistan. According to the designers, many orders are also placed for wedding party outfits. The company mostly has clients who want to live a modern life and wear modern clothes.
Moving on to news from Nepal, Nepal's Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli on Wednesday said attainment of socialism is the major goal of his government. Oli made the remarks at an international seminar in Kathmandu and added that the government is very much clear of its goals.
Nepal's Premier KP Sharma Oli on Wednesday said the major goal of his government is attainment of socialism with typical Nepali attributes. Oli, during an event in capital Kathmandu, said the government has concentrated all its efforts on realizing the motto of prosperous Nepal, happy Nepalese, and that the goals of his government are very clear. The Premier said the government's priorities are clear of promoting nationalism and democracy, strengthening national unity, ensuring social justice, and attainment of economic development and prosperity within a short span of time. Oli is the first Prime Minister of Federal Nepal after his CPN-UML party with ally CPN-MOI Center secured a landslide victory in last year's polls. Since the joining of office, he has claimed that political transition of the Himalayan nation has ended and his government is now working for overall social transformation.
Tibetan spiritual leader Dalai Lama on Wednesday addressed international conference in India's northern hill town of Dharamshala. He delivered a speech on human unity and its common goal. The six-day event is being attended by nearly 700 people from across India and other neighboring nations.
Tibetan spiritual leader Dalai Lama on Wednesday addressed an international conference in India's northern picturesque hill town of Dharamshala. Organized by Youth for Humalum from Minnesota, USA, the international conference on Middle Way Approach is a six-day event and is being attended by nearly 700 people from across India and other neighboring nations. The Tibetan spiritual leader delivered a speech on human unity and its common goal. Participants expressed how they felt after being a part of the conference and meeting the Dalai Lama.
We have anywhere from students from all around India and adults from all around different settlement camps here in India. So I feel super blessed of my friend has said about being in the audience with His Holiness, and he talked for about 60 minutes, and in that 60 minutes his message was basically that we all should work and in unity and because we all have a common purpose and common goal.
I feel very blessed to be here. As soon as he came down and he walked down to us, I was in tears because it hit me that he's been working all of his life tirelessly. I knew it before, but to see him in his current state and to see him do so much for us, I felt a little bad that I hadn't contributed as much and that I still have a long way to go.
Middle way approach is Tibetan government policy that seeks genuine autonomy and not the complete independence. Under this policy, exiled Tibetan government seeks to negotiate with the Chinese leadership regarding the issue of Tibet.
Moving on, tourists are thronging India's northern Jammu and Kashmir province to beat the scorching heat in parts of India. Number of tourists are arriving the valley's summer capital Srinagar to explore and experience the pleasant weather of the province. A large number of tourists from across the country are thronging India's northern Jammu and Kashmir province to escape the sweltering heat of the plains. The province has been witnessing an influx of tourists for the past few weeks to experience pleasant weather and festive spirit during the holy month of Ramadan. The famous Dal Lake in the valley's summer capital Srinagar is steaming with tourists enjoying leisure ride in colourful shikaras or houseboats.
नॉर्थ इंडिया में टेम्परेचर जो है 40-45 तक पहुंच रहा है और आई डोंट थिंक इससे अच्छी जगह कुछ और हो सकती है हिंदुस्तान में जहां पे आप ना केवल एंजॉय करेंगे बट आप गर्मी से दूर रह सकेंगे.
For nearly a century, the hand-carved houseboats bobbing on the placid lake has drawn scores of visitors to the stunningly beautiful Himalayan region of Kashmir.
ये ना हमारा पहला विजिट है. मैं फैमिली के साथ आई हूँ यहाँ पे और बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है. बहुत सुना था कश्मीर के बारे में, लेकिन जो सुना था वो मिला है. बहुत खुश हैं हम लोग. आज फर्स्ट डे है, मंडे हमारी वापसी है, तो हम सारा देख के जाएंगे.
Tourism is the mainstay of the economy of Kashmir. With its pristine beauty, has always attracted hordes of visitors from India as well as across the globe. It is amongst the favorite holiday destinations for skiers, travelers and adventure seekers. Well, that's the way it was in South Asia this evening. Before we conclude the top stories once again. Indian Prime Minister meets Malaysian counterpart in Kuala Lumpur to enhance ties. Hundreds of registration centres still not open due to insecurity in Afghanistan. And tourists throng India's Jammu and Kashmir to seek solace from summer heat. Now our viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/SAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter @SAsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We will see you same time tomorrow. Good night.